All right, let's get into the Trump as a deadly head wound and the Hurricane Beryl that was near Harris County and all these things, and tie some points of light together for us, okay? Because Biden's being taken out in one way, shape, or form. And Kamala is the harlot that's going to come and ride the beast and all those things, and that war in heaven with the devil and the Debbie and Michael and those such of things. So as these things are breaking out in different ways, okay? Kamala, Obama, Jill, more than likely they're the ones who put the hit out on Trump because Biden's going to be taken out in whatever way. He can't mentally go on. And then so Kamala or whoever's coming has to have means to get into position because Trump has been given the mouth to speak. And as he's been given the mouth to speak, he's there to divide the nation in a way. And as he divides the nation, the right the mark in the right hand is being made through the radical left, okay? So, as a deadly head wound with Trump, all right? He got shot in the right ear. This is controlling that right ear to where you can't leave because he has this left ear controlled, all right? This one's covered up. It's got a ringing in it, ding, okay? The alarms are going off, but you don't know when it's alarm because he's telling you, it's okay, it's okay. So the red dye, 4D, that people are eating, that's taking place as far as a spiritual concern for the serpent cast down to the belly. And this is where that you are what you eat, where you're that red dye 4D, you're going to be that red dye to go 4D. And the 4D 2 months and the 42 months is lining up, well, from 7/13 to where he's going to do his power grabs and such. So 480 eclipse to 7/13, 96 days. Stormy Daniel's week, 70 weeks of Stormy Daniel is on 7/20/24. 7/13 was on the 69th. Okay, so that's the flip on the 96, and that also equals the 54 for the backside on Trump coming back for the 45. So the Houston, which is the Joe US little T, the T's lit and he's on, so that part is signaling this, and they've been without power this past week or whatever. It started out like at 2 million, then 1.8, 1.5 or whatever, but there's basically a few 100,000 people still without power down there after the hurricane during the heat wave. So as the Jesus, the GE, all right, that's being hung up on the cross, and that's dying on the cross here and there as it peters out. The Peter is for the one who's given the called Satan and builds the church and stuff. So, and that's also the pet ear for the petrodollar, and that's why Trump has this covered up and all those other things. So that band age, the band is playing that band, so you're just going along with the music with that, the fiddler on the roof. So the 480 eclipse to now, 96 days, and then you carry on. You can get to 721 time frame. That's that 10-4, the 104, those alarm days. That's going back to the October 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th when the trial broke out, the speaker broke, speaker replaced, the Israel war started, all those things. So all these things are compounding on time, and then 7/17 marks the 24 on 24 for the clock, and then 72 hours after that, 7/17 is the 7/20, so you got a 72 on 72 also for that clock. Either way, folks, the dragon is here to collect his power, and that dragon is that D, rage on, for fight, fight, fight. And that's part of that olive branch breaking it shows us on Fox News, and it's part of the figs being harvested, because the fig is a special fruit. A fig is one that grows from the inside out. Okay, so this is where that fig is being budded inside of us, and it's about to be harvested for this man-child birth and all these things. Okay, so the Red dye 4D is being displaced in the people. They're eating it up right now. Okay? And as the radical left is there to sear the foreheads, to make you worship his name and number, because the mark of the beast has already been taken. Okay? Now they're searing the worship of his name and number, the 45, 47, the 9/11, and this is part of that twin 9/11 event, because Trump is the twin, the Gemini, and he's coming out under the cool of the night. And that cool of the night I've mentioned is Musk, and that's part of the days of futures past for the ex-president as the president and these types of things. But as the cool of the night comes on, the musk and the dusk for that musket and the triggered for the battle coming. Okay? And that bat tail is for the Batman, and the bat tails for the things you took in your arms and such. But the G-Man, the Trump, the Don. Adon means the Lord. That's the second coming of the Lord. The Lord is Satan. Jesus, Satan, they are one. He is setting up two kingdoms. That is where you're seeing them talking about a parallel economy. And the parallel economy can come into, well, we're cash-based or we're not cash-based. And this is where the banks, they just, well, we can't afford to open our doors anymore. Y'all are all basically digital currency anyways. You don't need cash or whatever. We're just going to close the doors to save money. And then we're just doing all these things. So we can see all these companies or whatever transferring and training their employees the past whatever years to go online and do everything through the app or whatever. So basically these people are so fucking stupid, they are giving away their job. They're training their own job and all these other things. It's just like training your replacement at work. And you don't have a fucking clue. You're training your own replacement. Because you ain't going to be working. We're going into new heaven and earth. And the people who love fucking working, who love bondage, who love slavery, who love that Bible, that is to control you, make you live like, I repent of all my sins. I live perfect. I'm so perfect. You're so fucking retarded. That's what you are. Because that's why Jesus calls you a hypocrite. Because you're doing all... Oh my God. Jeez. The church today is a carnal representation of a spiritual element. So it's not the real church. It's not the real spirit. That is why they're all blinded. That is why they are the blind leading the blind. That's why Jesus calls them these names. Tells them that they're lame. They're dead men walking. Jesus came for the living, not for the dead. The dead are taken back to the garden under Paul's cult, saying Jesus is the second Adam. What kind of fucked up shit is that? And Jesus even tells you in Revelation to come out of that church. It's the last church age. It's the church of Laodicea. See you later, dumbass. And the dumbass is for the Don, the donkey, who has the keys to the pit, the Abaddon. And Jesus says they've taken your keys. Abaddon has your fucking keys. And as Abaddon has your keys, he's opening up all these little fucking doors, and you're just being shoved down the hallway. In this dark hallway, it's getting darker and darker and darker, and they are hotboxing it with all this fucking smoke. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get Freddy jumping out at you as a nightmare comes, because you're going from a daydream to basically a night dream. And as everybody's in a daydream, okay, they can't understand the night that's coming. And the night is where the life is. The day is where the bondage is. The day is where the slavery is. The day is where you have to do what that so-called begotten son, your boss, tells you what to fucking do. Okay? So America's dividing. The parallel economy's coming. The nation divided by the bowels, the ballots, the crapture and shit. All this stuff's coming. The crapture's up there and happening in front of everybody, with Biden shitting himself and all these other things going on. So it's all there, folks. I've told you all these things years back. So y'all just need to go back and catch up, because they're showing you a false prophet telling you about Trump's earshot or whatever, when y'all got the real prophets in front of you, but nobody's passing these channels around or whatever's going on. But either way, the Jesus, that Jesus is inside of you, that king is being played with as a pawn. Okay? And pawns are there to be taken. So if you don't know that king is inside of you, and you aren't playing this live chess game with that king inside of you, you are a pawn. And if you've taken that X mark right there, the X mark that's coming to gather up the beasts and shit, you got that change in the body and that old twinkling of an eye. So as the armies have gathered, and the armies are gathering around, the armies are going to gather as well as that nom replaying, that draft is poured for that intoxication, for the shots. Okay, so that draft is coming for that red dye, 4D, that everybody's going to be consuming in their 7-Eleven Slurp P. Okay, so it's all laid out there for you, people.